I predicted a lot about what's happening right now. I'm not into saying I told you so, but we did see it coming.
I was told that if I voted for Kamala Harris in 2024, terrible things would happen. Grocery prices would go through the roof, nobody'd be able to fucking afford anything, and we'd be at war within a year. And it looks like they were right. I voted for Kamala Harris in 2024. 77 million of you window-licking, bigoted pieces of shit were not smart enough to do the same, and now grocery prices are through the roof, nobody can fucking afford anything, and we all just watched a demented septuagenarian do his best Lord Farquaad impression talking about some of you may die as he drags us into a war that is, by his own admission, without congressional approval. So I ask you this today, MAGA, how you fucking feeling? I hope all you MAGA chuds that never shut the fuck up about he's the president of peace and we can't have a woman president, she might start a war on her time of the month, are ready to go die in the Middle East for a president who started a war so we'd all forget that he's best friends with a bunch of fucking pedophiles. Excellent work, dumb fuck. I'll leave you with a quote from the president that you love to support. Our president will start a war with Iran because he's completely unable to negotiate. He's weak and ineffective. I tell you to think on that, but you have clearly been spared the burdens of intelligence. So instead, I'm going to tell you to get fucked.
Do you guys remember this?
And Trump's advisors have created a 900-page blueprint of their agenda for a second term. They call it Project 2025.
And this?
I have nothing to do with Project 2025.
And this, where Trump said, I know nothing about Project 2025 and have no idea who's behind it? Well, this is a post that he made today saying he has a meeting with Russ Vought of Project 2025. Kamala Harris was right about everything.
And once again, Kamala Harris was right about everything. The former vice president warned the American people that Donald Trump would send the military after all of us. And we have seen it clear as day. He sent the National Guard to California. Now the National Guard is here in Washington, D.C., along with other federal agencies, walking around with rifles in hand as though they are in the streets of Baghdad. Next up on the list is Chicago. And Donald Trump is going a step further and creating a special task force within the National Guard that will do the work of what your day-to-day police officer should be doing. All under the disguise of controlling riots and reining in crime. Crime that is at an all-time low across the United States. And the interesting thing about all of this, he's only going after blue states, but completely overlooking the fact that many red states deal with crime also. Again, you just couldn't vote for the black woman, right?
Kamala Harris was a prophet. Everything that she predicted Donald Trump would do, he has done in less than 18 months. He has started new wars. He has driven up inflation, not just at home, but global inflation as well. He has driven up energy prices. He is spiraling us into the biggest recession that anyone has ever seen since the Great Depression. So tell me, if you voted for Donald Trump, why exactly was it that you could not put the best interest of yourself, your friends, and neighbors above your misogyny and patriarchy? I'll wait for your answer in the comments.
Donald Trump has no plan for you. And when you look at his economic plan, it's all about tax breaks for the richest people. I am offering what I describe as an opportunity economy, and the best economists in our country, if not the world, have reviewed our relative plans for the future of America. What Goldman Sachs has said is that Donald Trump's plan would make the economy worse, mine would strengthen the economy. What the Wharton School has said is Donald Trump's plan would actually explode the deficit. 16 Nobel laureates have described his economic plan as something that would increase inflation and by the middle of next year would invite a recession. You just have to look at where we are and where we stand on the issues. And I'd invite you to know that Donald Trump actually has no plan for you because he is more interested in defending himself than he is in looking out for you.
Popular opinion? Kamala Harris should receive the Guinness World Record for the biggest "I told you so" in history.
Kamala Harris warned that the next administration could face rising prices, economic uncertainty, and growing challenges overseas. Now, as inflation, trade dispute, and global tensions continue dominating the headlines, some people argue those warnings were more accurate than many expected. But were those predictions actually right? Or is this simply the result of a broader economic forces affecting every country? Let's watch more clips and we'll come back to talk about it.
If Kamala Harris had become president, Trump would be facing prison, the Strait of Hormuz would be open, gas would be under $3 a gallon, and America would still be respected around the world. If you agree Trump is an idiot, give us a follow. You're my type of people.
I didn't vote for Kamala Harris. I voted for Trump.
If you voted for him, you were not a safe space. Now, let me sum up your video really quick because you went on a 9-minute justification tour trying to convince people to still like you after you telling the world that you voted for Trump.
After I say this, that you still like me. I hope you still like me.
I'm going to dive into it and tell you exactly why that's wrong. You voted for a man who was not only convicted of essaying a woman, but who also brags about essaying women. And me, as a survivor of SA, I would never feel comfortable going to a trauma center and working with trauma specialists as yourself, knowing that you supported a man who does that. You voted for a man who has decades of recorded racism in his past. You being a multiracial woman of color, what does that make you feel like? You voted for a man who's doing everything he can to make it so women don't have choices over their own bodies. And the one that you should be really concerned about is that you voted for a man who's trying to erase an entire community of people, a community that makes up less than 1% of the entire population, because you said,
owner of a trauma institute, mom of a non-binary kiddo.
Not even for your own child. I wonder when your child grows up to be an adult, if they realize that you voted against their own interest. And after all that, the comment section is never wrong, because nobody has to continue liking someone for voting to harm other people, because that's what your vote meant.
MAGA was 100% correct. If I voted for Kamala Harris, our economy would tank, the national debt would triple, gas prices would skyrocket, and we would be at war with Iran. I voted for her and all of that happened.
Kamala Harris is looking real good now, huh? I said Kamala Harris is looking real good now, huh? All you motherfuckers who voted for this man. We sat here, we told you, we warned you, we even put it in your face and tried to fucking remind you. Now we get to sit here and watch our fucking country burn. All of us get to sit here and watch this fucking country burn. We're on the cusp of another fucking civil war. They have censored what we can even fucking see right now. There are so many people in different countries that are protesting for freedom right now, who are protesting this fucking president, while he's sitting out here lining his fucking pockets with his friends like we fucking told you he was going to do. I'm pissed. And the reason I'm pissed is because I thought more of fucking...
Campaigns are filled with promises and warnings. Sometimes those predictions turn out to be partly accurate. Sometimes they don't. Supporters of Kamala Harris argue that concerns she raised about inflation, international alliance, tariff, and economic instability deserve a second look in light of recent events. Supporters of President Trump, however, argue that many of today's economic challenges began before his current term or stem from global factors outside any single president's control. The truth is that no president has complete control over the economy. Energy prices, interest rates, supply chains, international conflict, and decisions made by Congress all play important roles. That's why it's important to separate campaign rhetoric from measurable outcomes. Rather than focusing only on political talking points, the better question is whether policies are producing the results voters were promised. Because regardless of party affiliation, Americans generally care about the same thing: affordable groceries, lower housing costs, stable jobs, and a stronger economy. So what do you think? Were Kamala Harris' warnings largely accurate, or are today's challenges being oversimplified in political debates? Share your thoughts in the comments respectfully, and before you go, do well to like and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next.